Okay, I'm going to do a quick video. I think it's easier if I do it like this, a static video. We're going to go over some hand contact theory. This is for an online student of mine, but I might post it to the public group as well, because everybody can learn from it. So this is, I'm pretending I'm on the horse. This is my tack. All right, so when you ride in lightness, I don't like any stress on the horse's nose or face or nerve endings. This sits quietly in their mouth, and the shank sits quietly, okay? When you hold your reins, you're not riding like this with stationary hands. I call it mannequin riding. You see a lot of riders, especially in the UK, they're kind of sitting their hands very still in one spot. So if you keep your hands extremely still, your shoulders still, your hips still, and you sit like a mannequin, your horse is going to look like a mannequin. They're not going to have any flexion, any bend, any brilliance in their movement, because you're blocking them. So the way that you sit on the saddle and the way you use your hands is how you're either blocking the horse or you're helping the horse. So I'm going to pretend I'm sitting here. So there's always a lightness in my reins. When the horse is doing what I want, my reins aren't sloppy. I'm not giving them away. I'm right there with the horse, but I don't have resistance. The resistance is gone. If I need to give an aid, let me get the balance in these reins. If I need to give an aid, I close my ring fingers. Okay? I'm not pulling back. I don't have a closed hand in pulling back. I'm going like this. And this doesn't even move the shank in my bit. All it's doing is like this small movement in the horse's mouth. Now, when you first start, you might have to ask and hold. But how you teach lightness is, as soon as you ask and the horse responds, you remove the pressure and the aid. And that's how you teach lightness. So the horse is seeking you not to give an aid, and you're only giving an aid if the horse is on the forehand. So if the horse is leaning this way, or this way, you help correct. And the hands is just one of many tools. So your hands are going to move depending on what you want to ask from the horse. If you want a horse to go with their head low and extend out and lift their back, you lower the hand, you open the hand, you relax your shoulders, you relax your seat, and you give the hands forward. Even with the hands forward, you can still communicate and wiggle side to side, but usually with long and out, the aid that I use the most is I open the hand to turn the nose. So when I ride long and out, I'm riding as if I'm in a cavesson. You can have the curb in the mouth, but you're not using the curb. You're using it as a cavesson. If you're not ready to be in a curb bit, this hand motion is the same if you're riding in a cavesson. You put your hand low, you open, and you turn the nose. So this is the root of all problems in riding, is the riders are not using their hands to achieve lightness. They're using their hands to pull back and to stop the horse. You do not stop the horse with your hands, you stop the horse with your seat. Okay, so you can't just use the hands, you can't just use the seat. You use them together. So let's say my horse is down and low. I'm down here. I soften my shoulders. I'm kind of sitting more on my jean pockets. I call it more of a Western seat. If I want that horse to come up into collection, let's say I'm on a 20-meter circle, I take up a little bit of my slack, I bring my shoulders up, and I bring my hands up. Never once did I pull back on the horse. They're following my shoulders and my hands. Just by that, the horse is going to go from down here and they're going to come up. Maybe this is they're going to go from this to here. Now, we don't lift to the point where they drop their back. We just lift to get them up and open. So you can't just lift. You don't want them to lift and be like this. You want them to lift, and you always want to think withers up and moving forward. And moving forward doesn't mean flying around. Moving forward just means you're not blocking them. So let's say I'm on a 20-meter circle. So if my hands are low and I'm just stretching the horse, if I open my inside hand, I'm going to slightly still weight my outside leg and make sure that that leg is straight and my hip is open, so the horse isn't falling to the inside. So whenever you give one aid one direction, the opposite aid helps balance it out. The same if I want to go this way, I turn my shoulder, I turn my hips, this leg extends down, and I wrap the horse around my leg. And then sometimes I might even give a little inside leg like this with outside hand, like this little shimmy movement here. And that's how you get the bend in the horse. I'm not pulling back. I'm not turning the horse this way. I'm opening up my arm and I'm turning the horse around. That's the key to keeping the horse from falling on the inside or the outside. If I'm doing that circle with a fully collected horse, my seat's going to be different. My seat, I'm going to have a really open hip angle. My hands are going to be up. They're going to be here, and all I have to do is turn my shoulders and turn where I look, which turns my seat bones. And that's, see how much I turned here? And the horse is going to follow. See, being that I'm not on a horse, I'm getting resistance because that's how the horse would be straight. But if I would turn here, the horse is going to follow. So that's what I mean by riding with your seat. If you want to stop a horse with the seat, you sit and you hold. You push down and through your seat, and you hold in your thighs, and you stop the horse. If they're still not listening, sit deeper, and then a little bit of hand. But it happens like that. It doesn't happen in 3 paces. It happens instantly. And baby girl's looking at me because those are her cues to play. She thinks we're doing a lesson. So all your aids, you could be doing 1 aid, 5 aids, 0 aids. The goal is to do 0, but you never stop riding. Another way to get the horse light, and this is for my online student, we're going to start going over transition. So a lot of times I see people riding around, and they were light the first 3 steps, and then they lose it. So you have to tell yourself, the reason you're riding is to get the lightness. You're not riding just to be riding. So if your horse takes 2 steps and then falls on the forehand, you have to stop and you have to reset and you have to get back to that lightness. So it might be turn left, turn right, half halt, lift your hand, drop your hand, whatever you need to do to get back to where you had felt that lightness previously. When you do transitions such as walk, walk, stop, back, walk, walk, trot, 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 stop, the horse is thinking about their feet, they're thinking about your aids, and you're making, you're fine-tuning your motor skills to think a little faster. So a lot of people just get on and ride. They've never ridden transitions within 5 steps. And then pretty soon you can canter from the halt, you can dead stop from a halt. The horse becomes very light and reactive to the softer aids. At first they're going to be dull because you've been pulling on them, previous riders have been pulling on them, and they've completely tuned you out, and they think these people are just yeah on me all the time, so they tune you out. The lighter you become and the more precise you become and your timing, everything starts to flow and everything is lighter. For example, when I ride my very young mare, I've just gotten on her 3 times. I don't expect her to have any knowledge of lightness or aids. So anytime we do anything with me on her back, I'm just happy with go. She's on my back. She's not freaking out. You have to have different expectations for different level of the horse. So green horses, we tend to just go with their more building their natural frame. As the horse progresses, you can start asking for more collection, but you don't want to overdo it. So a lot of the horses I have here, they've all come in from some type of problem or rehab. So just because I can get them to do something doesn't mean I ask them to do it. So in review, the horse follows your hand, they follow your shoulders, they follow your seat. The more upright and open my chest is and my shoulders are back, my hip angle is open, the more upright and lifted the horse is going to be on the forehand. Now, some horses that are put together with perfection, they're bred for dressage and really nice jumper horses. You can ride like a sack of potatoes and they're still going to move pretty nice under you. My horses are not like that. But you want to find that sweet spot. So whenever you're riding, if the horse is down and low, I find the sweet spot by kind of rounding my back a little bit and half halting with my seat and giving of my hand. When they're up, I give away my back. I let them move, because as they collect, they slow down. There's no half halting, and I bring my shoulders up, and you're in that sweet spot of balance where you're one with the horse, and all the aids disappear, at least moments here and there, and that's when it becomes really nice. That's when I say you get out of the way of the horse and let the horse move. So I just want everybody to be aware how your body affects your horse's body, how your tack affects your horse, how your saddle affects your horse. If you have a tree saddle, they're not going to feel your seat as much, and they're going to tend to move more forward, and you're going to find yourself using your hands more. In a treeless, I just sit up and they feel my sit bones more and they slow down. My Arab doesn't like the treeless. All my other horses prefer the treeless saddle, especially for collected work. The thoroughbred, if he gets a little tight, I'll put the Western saddle on him and just move him forward and open him up. So you're always opening up and bringing back, opening up and bringing back. You never want to drill one way of going. Like during the day, we move all different ways. We just don't jog all day, or we just don't sit all day. You have to vary the movement. So when you ride, the purpose of riding is rehab. Most horses need rehab, and longevity. We're trying to keep the horses around fit and healthy and have a little bit of fun. We're not trying to break them down. There are a lot of posts in the main training group where I have videos where I'm showing my hand. I have some videos of me riding. With my online students, I'll go over it in your Zoom lessons. I'll tell you hold, release. I'll walk you through it and try to get your timing down. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, put them in comments. Thanks.